Vocabulary for cultural experiences. 1. Biculturalism, the coexistence of two different cultures within an individual or society. 2. Ethnography, the systematic study and description of cultures. 3. Cultural relativism, the idea that cultural practices and beliefs should be understood within their own cultural context. 4. Multiculturalism, the presence or acceptance of multiple cultural traditions within a society. 5. Heritage, the practices, traditions, and values passed down through generations within a community. 6. Folklore, the traditional beliefs, customs, and stories passed down orally within a community. 7. Cultural appropriation, the adoption or use of elements from another culture, often without understanding or respect. 8. Tradition, customs, beliefs, or practices that are passed down through generations within a community. 9. Cultural exchange, the mutual sharing and interaction of different cultural elements between societies. 10. Globalization, the process of interconnectedness and interdependence among different cultures and societies. 11. Cross-cultural, involving or bridging different cultures. 12. Intercultural communication, communication between people from different cultural backgrounds. 13. Acculturation, the process of cultural change that occurs when individuals or groups come into contact with a different culture. 14. Cultural competency, the ability to understand, appreciate, and interact effectively with people from diverse cultures. 15. Cultural identity, the feeling of belonging to a particular cultural group and the shared values and traditions associated with it. 16. Cultural sensitivity, awareness and respect for cultural differences. 17. Cultural heritage, the tangible and intangible aspects of culture passed down from previous generations. 18. Cultural capital, the knowledge, skills, and education that contribute to a person's social and cultural identity. 19. Cultural assimilation, the process by which individuals or groups adopt the cultural practices of another group. 20. Diversity, the presence of a variety of different cultures within a society. 21. Ethnicity, shared cultural traits such as language, ancestry, and history that distinguish a group of people. 22. Cultural preservation, efforts to protect and maintain a culture's traditions, artifacts, and practices. 23. Cultural tourism, traveling to experience and learn about the culture of a particular region. 24. Cultural landscape, the visible features of an area shaped by human culture. 25. Cultural pluralism, the coexistence of different cultural groups within a society while maintaining their distinct identities. 26. Cultural revival, renewed interest and participation in traditional cultural practices. 27. Cultural capital, the symbolic and cultural resources that contribute to a person's social status and cultural identity. 28. Ethnocentrism, the tendency to evaluate other cultures according to the standards of one's own culture. 29. Cultural enrichment, the process of gaining knowledge and understanding by engaging with different cultures. 30. Cultural exchange program, an organized program that facilitates the exchange of cultural knowledge and experiences between individuals or groups. 31. Cultural festival, an event celebrating and showcasing the traditions, arts, and customs of a particular culture. 32. Cultural diffusion, the spread of cultural beliefs, practices, and innovations from one society to another. 33. Cultural revival, a movement to revive and promote traditional cultural practices that may have been neglected or lost over time. 34. Cultural pluralism, the coexistence of multiple cultural groups within a society, each maintaining its distinct identity. 35. Cultural ecosystem, the interconnected network of cultural elements within a society. 36. Cultural enrichment, the process of gaining a deeper understanding and appreciation for different cultures. 37. Cultural literacy, the ability to understand and interpret the symbols, practices, and meanings within a particular culture. 38. Cultural diplomacy, the use of cultural interactions and exchanges to foster understanding and cooperation between nations. 1. Cultural shock, the disorientation and discomfort experienced when exposed to a new and unfamiliar culture. 2. Cultural revival, a movement to renew and revitalize aspects of a culture that may be fading or endangered. 3. Cultural broker, an individual or entity that facilitates communication and understanding between people from different cultures. 4. Cultural artifact, an object or item that represents and reflects a particular culture's history, values, or practices. 5. Cultural hybridity, the blending and mixing of different cultural influences to create something new and unique. 6. Cultural stewardship, the responsibility of preserving and safeguarding cultural heritage for future generations. 7. Cultural renaissance, a revival or renewal of interest in the arts, literature, and traditions of a particular culture. 8. Cultural competency training, educational programs that aim to enhance people's ability to navigate and communicate effectively across cultures. 9. Cultural entrepreneurship, initiatives that promote the economic value and sustainability of cultural activities and products. 10. Cultural intersectionality, the overlapping of different cultural identities, such as race, gender, and ethnicity, that influence an individual's experiences. 11. Cultural sanctuaries, protected areas dedicated to preserving and promoting cultural heritage. 12. Cultural discourse, conversations and discussions about cultural issues, values, and practices. 13. Cultural aesthetics, the principles and values that guide artistic expression within a particular culture. 14. Cultural literacy, the ability to understand and navigate the cultural nuances and references in a given society. 15. Cultural enrichment, the process of broadening one's perspective and understanding through exposure to diverse cultures. 16. Cultural reclamation, efforts to reclaim and revive cultural practices and traditions that have been marginalized or suppressed. 17. Cultural ethology, the study of cultural behavior and customs within a societal context. 18. Cultural responsiveness, the ability to adapt and respond appropriately to the cultural needs and preferences of individuals or groups. 19. Cultural rejuvenation, initiatives or movements aimed at revitalizing and rejuvenating aspects of a culture. 20. Cultural dissonance, the discomfort or confusion experienced when individuals encounter cultural practices or beliefs that differ from their own. 21. Cultural immersion, the deep and prolonged engagement with a particular culture, often through living or working in a foreign environment. 22. Cultural healing, practices and initiatives that promote healing and well-being through the revival of cultural traditions and knowledge.